Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. If you guys appreciate the content that I put out every day, I would really appreciate it if you guys could press the like button and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I know it's a long shot, but with a little bit of help from you guys, I think we'll be able to do it. And also, the question of today is, what's your favorite fiat currency? I know a lot of you guys don't like fiat, but even if you don't want them or like them, what's your favorite name for any of them? Like, do you like the shekels the most, the US dollar, the euro? Which one sounds the most fun? That's also fine. So, I think today we're going to be focusing on Bitcoin, XRP, and Bitcoin Cash, and even Cardano, I see we have some news on. First of all, just a little reminder from the digital asset investor. He could actually mean a couple of things with this, but I got my own interpretation. December 9th, 2017. Bitcoin was first, Ethereum was second, Bitcoin Cash was third, IOTA was fourth, and Ripple was fifth. And you can see the market caps: Bitcoin 270, Ethereum 44, and Ripple almost $10 billion. I find it interesting what the Bitcoin logo here was, but whatever. Then later, about a month later, not even a month, January 7th of 2018, we see Bitcoin first, Ripple second, Ethereum third, Bitcoin Cash fourth. And that's actually really quite interesting, because if you take a look at market cap, Bitcoin 294, which was 269 just before that, Ripple 119, and Ethereum 101. So basically what happened is Bitcoin went up by like 10% or so. I don't even know, but just the smallest amount. Then Ethereum went up about a little bit more than double, I would say, from 44 to 101. And XRP, which was then called Ripple, went from 10 to 120 billion. So it took like the biggest skyrocket out of all of them. It's really kind of crazy if you look at it from that perspective. It's really insane what they did right there. And yeah, Litecoin doubled, Bitcoin Cash also about doubled, not even, and Cardano we can't see right here, but it's just a little bit of a reminder of what could be happening within the span of a snap or a month. Because really, guys, everything goes so fast, and it can go so fast in the crypto space, you wouldn't even believe what could happen in the smallest amount of time. CoinGeek has posted, troubled Bitcoin Cash thinks small as world looks for leadership. Now, it's a pretty elaborate article on the whole matter, and I actually referred you guys to this for the sake of, if you're having some thoughts about Bitcoin Cash and you actually support it and want to kind of know more about it. Let's quickly read the first sentence. Recent events in the Bitcoin Cash world point to small-time thinking and often conflicted vision. The project has struggled to raise funds to fund the protocol, and service development and its best-known backers are scaling back. It raises two questions. Is small-time thinking appropriate for the times we live in, and does Bitcoin Cash really have any choice? Well, yeah, it's a good question to have, and I actually want to kind of go on a little bit further to the end of this one. Bitcoin Cash's most prominent corporate backers to date have been Bitcoin.com and Bitmain. With additional support from Chinese transactions processing networks like BTC.top and Via BTC, last week Bitcoin.com announced the departure of CEO Stephen Rust amid calls for a leaner team. The company also reportedly laid off 50% of its staff, and thus the support for the whole Bitcoin Cash has, of course, gone down quite a little bit as well. And of course, the big question comes up because of Bitcoin was first sort of on its own right. Then Bitcoin Cash came along and Bitcoin SV came along. And since Bitcoin SV came along, Bitmain was also not in the picture anymore. And thus they're like, who's really back in Bitcoin Cash and what now with it, right? But a lot of those questions are coming up right now because Bitcoin Cash halving tomorrow, will it predict Bitcoin's future? The Bitcoin Cash halving is a lot sooner than Bitcoin's is, and thus people are kind of wondering what is to happen with Bitcoin Cash. A Bitcoin Cash halving will occur on Wednesday at block 630,000. Hash rates are falling, indicating miners are moving to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin network and on-chain metrics seem to indicate a strong recovery. Now, one of the big questions that I saw and that I noticed some people must be having is, well, there is a Bitcoin Cash halving, which is a hard fork of Bitcoin. So once this halving happens, is this going to indicate what's going to happen to Bitcoin as well? Well, my answer to that is right now, the Bitcoin Cash halving is going on, and people have a good choice of switching over their Bitcoin Cash mining to just traditional Bitcoin mining because the yield was most likely better, right? And I actually think most of them are doing that right now, and thus it is not the best representation of what would happen to Bitcoin as well, just because right now you have the best opportunity to go for the biggest coin, which is still, I guess, good for a couple of months, possibly, or for like a month, let's say. So it's just an easy switch once Bitcoin goes into its halving as well. Where the Bitcoin guy is going to go, right? They aren't going to have to stay or switch to a completely different coin, which doesn't support a general run. Because people switching over from Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin actually supports a bull run, because most of the time, due to the dominance, Bitcoin decides those runs. If Bitcoin Cash, or no, if Bitcoin itself would have the halving, the money is most likely going to go out of crypto or to, for example, Ethereum or something like that. But that's not really going to aid a bull run at all, because even though money is not going out of crypto, it's not really in the most dominant coin anymore, and I don't think an alt run will happen without Bitcoin going up first. Then a little bit of some that I think a lot of you guys came here for: supposed insider information. And if you guys were here earlier today in my Stellar/VeChain video, you most likely already got the message and most likely already saw it, but most people don't tune into those, so I thought, you know what, we gotta address this again. BitHades on Twitter said, XRP insider info. There will be a massive acquisition between Bank of America and Ripple in the summer. This comes directly from several insider sources in both companies. I will let people know prior to the acquisition of when to buy into XRP. I will see you soon. Hades gang, and then there's a picture attached which says, Bank of America will be acquiring Ripple later this year. I will be sharing additional analysis in the coming weeks on when to buy. Use this information wisely. I personally think this could not really be that true, but on the contrary, there's a couple of ways we can use this information. One, if he is correct, and then a couple of ways we should go then. If he's correct, that will mean he has a good insider source, or he made a bold prediction, because he's saying within the year, right? Or no, in the summer. Okay, so no, most likely he's got some insider then, and he's got some really good trading opportunities, and maybe some of his other assumed or self-proclaimed titles are maybe a little bit more true than they might look. That's one thing, or one side. Second, I guess, is if he's wrong, then either we're going to have to block him because he's been spreading out lies and maybe trying to get himself the best gain by buying the coin, for example, and then trying to pump it up the next day, which is a possibility, even though it would not work as well with a big coin like XRP, but maybe he's going to try. And the second part is he got the wrong information, which is also a possibility then still, right? Because we shouldn't assume that he just made it all up in his head right now and posted it down. It could also be that an other, quote unquote insider, like many people DM me, they say, I'm a guy from the future, or hey, I'm an insider, but don't tell anyone, or hey, I'm this, hey, I'm that. And I 9 out of 10 times ignore him. But maybe he took up on the info and he's like, you know what, tell me more, tell me more. And the guy just keeps hitting him with facts that are going to be happening. He's like, damn, you really an insider? He's like, yeah, yeah, I am. And then Hades decided to share it all. Could be. And for that reason, I'm like, maybe he's trying to help the people out, the people in the community. He's trying to help everybody out by spreading the information. But maybe he's just trying to do it for self-interest. Maybe he just wants the attention that you get for posting this type of stuff, and he made it all up. You don't really know, right? But for the sake of if it does happen, I want to make sure that we at least got a little bit of a hint in one of the videos, just for what if. And the chances are ridiculously small, like a 1 out of 10, because also, why would Bank of America partner up or buy Ripple all the way, right? You would more so think of a partnership going on. Would Ripple allow a purchase like that as well, is another question. And does the Bank of America do that type of stuff even? Do they buy companies like that? I don't really know, but I'm just personally thinking that this is a pretty long shot. And Lee SPQR also says here, let's think about this sensibly. One, a partnership is absolutely. Two, Bank of America to be a validator on the network is a very good possibility. Bank of America to own a slice when Ripple IPO, absolutely. So that means that when Ripple does their IPO, Bank of America will most likely buy a piece. Could be possible. Bank of America to become a market maker, absolutely. But a full-on acquisition, I say that's not possible. Seen it before, and this is clearly a ploy to increase followers, which is definitely possible. We got to give it to him. But on the contrary, maybe he's trying to do a good thing. Maybe he's trying to troll the people. I don't know. But I just wanted to make sure you guys are up to date. Bitcoin is days away from the next big crash by Jeffy Kahn, who is too known right now for making the boldest titles he could. And again, I would say what he says is just a possibility, but it's never a certainty. And thus, again, he's actually proclaiming that we could be following the stocks in some way, because the stocks are doing pretty nice right now, and they could be crashing again, and thus crypto could be crashing again. Possibility is there. Not going to be excluding it at all. I would say it has some logical sense into it, but it's just a chance. 6 million XRP moved with 1,000 drops as XRP fractal signals 50% recovery. Price analysis. XRP breaks above 20 cents semi-bullish point, signals 50% recovery. Yeah, that's basically that. I do think that a 6 million XRP transaction is not special, as it's from Huobi to Huobi, so I really don't care about any transaction like that at all. I don't really know why they would do such a thing, but I don't think it's important. And the fact that it cost 1,000 drops, which is 0.001 XRP, is something we've covered many times before, right? We've covered it tons of times before. $1 million for the smallest part of a cent. It's possible due to XRP, but we've also covered all of that before as well. The biggest winner from the crypto crash takes a hard hit after Bitcoin price jumps. So Tether was doing extremely good in periods where Bitcoin goes down. Why? Because there keeps on coming more Tether. I mean, the Tether amount keeps ramping up, and if Bitcoin goes down, it makes Tether look better because it goes up in terms of rankings. In the future, it could also be that Tether is going to be fighting XRP. It could really be happening, and it's something we should be wary of, because why are we supporting Tether is another question you could ask yourself. Why are we liking it? Why is it still a thing? I used to really, really despise Tether back in the day, but I think as the months grew by here, or the years, I should say, have grown by, I've started to kind of adopt to Tether as well, where I'm not that much against it anymore. It's just, they here and there have their issues, but I really don't hear too much bad news about them anymore in the last couple of months that I've kind of mellowed out, in my opinion, on the whole thing. The number of large transactions of $100,000 plus for Tether dropped from 1,650 to only 36 yesterday. So, yeah, well, that's pretty obvious. Again, people are actually, on the contrary, it's like, on the one hand, it's obvious because people are, now getting more into Bitcoin, so they're switching over their Tether and then leaving it in Bitcoin to transact in Bitcoin instead of transacting in Tether. On the contrary, you would think Tether transactions will be huge because people are massively sending it over to sell. So it's a little bit both ways. And then Cardano, I still have to accept this website. I keep forgetting to do it. I think it's actually just the simplest thing, but I keep forgetting to do it. Cardano dips below 0.036134. You can see it at the top, I believe. I don't know if you guys can. Level down 3. Let's actually refresh it again. Oh, level down 3%. Well, I was just quickly wanting to show you guys what Cardano was doing and what it was looking like, because it's all the way down to 17th position, and really they've been falling for a little bit. They've not been doing too good, and I'm kind of worried about them, which I think a lot of that is due to their slow progress. And the same kind of goes for TRX, which has been having the same type of ordeal going on for itself. They've just been falling quite rapidly over this period. And also, one of the reasons I don't talk about Tron or TRX as much anymore is just because, well, I think it's turned into a gambling fest. And for Cardano, I like to talk about them because I love ADA. I love the project. Really solid. It's going to be good on a longer term. But they're really slow with the updates, and it'll take such a long time that I think an update every like week and a half or so may even be good. And with XRP and Bitcoin and even Bitcoin Cash in that sense, you can update on it every single day because there's just so much going on. And the community is so wild, so big that there's always talks and always speculation and whatnot, which is sometimes fun to look into. With Cardano, yeah, sometimes there's GitHub commits or really some really intricate threads on the Cardano processes, but a lot of you guys don't enjoy talking about that at all. And if you are, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. A lot of coins I like to talk about, and right now you guys are seeing I'm trying to do more of a daily crypto news type of style instead of Ripple XRP news, just because I like to talk about all the crypto I can, but it's sometimes hard to think of a good title. But if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you let me know. See you guys again in another crypto video, and hope you guys will be having a very, very great day. Don't forget to check out my second channel. We'll be posting a video on there today as well. See you guys again in another crypto video.